Good morning. You're watching the Daily Jam podcast. This is episode number 2 or 3. I got started last year and then I stopped, but I'm picking it back up again. And the good news is for you, lucky listener, is that I will upload these regularly for you. I'm thinking around 20 to 30 minutes in length, and I will start with one episode per week. And I will just discuss what's been going on professionally for me as a musician, and as well as a human, and any of the topics that I face in life, any of the challenges that I face and that I overcome, things of this nature. Right now, I'm on my way to a gig. I'm on my way to perform with Owen Campbell and Manuel Roll, both Newcastle-based musicians. Newcastle, Australia, mate. We are performing in Yakandanda, and tomorrow night, which is a Sunday, actually tomorrow afternoon, we are performing at the Albury, I believe it's the Botanic Gardens. So if you live in Albury, come on down to the Botanic Gardens. Tomorrow, Sunday, I think the 15th of September. Is today the 14th? I think it is. If it's the 14th, the weekend of the 14th, 15th September, and it's the Sunday. So wherever that falls on the calendar, whatever time, day, year it is, it's tomorrow. It's Sunday. So, yeah, I'll see you there. So I wanted to film this as I'm driving. I'm meeting the gang in Canberra, and I've set up my phone hands-free, so I'm not breaking any laws, because I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I believe in promoting good, proper ethics and making good ethical decisions in life. So that's step one of the motivation that oozes from this podcast. So it's interesting. It's an interesting time in my life and my journey as a musician. It's interesting because I did not think that I'd be doing this anymore. I did not think that I'd be doing this in a car driving to the next gig. I did not think that I'd be doing this, filming a podcast episode, creating content based on my music and my tuition. I tried to get away. I tried to walk away. I tried to run away. I tried to hide for many years. I wanted to hide. I wanted to run and hide from this calling. And it is a calling. And perhaps that sounds delusional, perhaps it sounds arrogant, but I assure you, if you experienced a calling, you would know what I'm talking about, first of all. Second of all, when you experience it genuinely, it is the least arrogant thing, and arguably one of the least delusional things you can do is answer to that which spontaneously arises from within you. So that's all I can really explain. I've just had some really profound experiences trying things out with group therapy sessions just therapy in general, and mentoring, really trying to get to the bottom of my psyche, the subconscious, as to these blocks or barriers that were holding me back from creating the life that I wanted. So it's been this journey. It's a journey, it's a process, but it really is, and so much so that now I'm back doing music and I'm back doing gigs. And this is arguably one of the worst times in history. Well, I won't say in history, but like in recent history, let's say, in recent decades. This may be one of the worst times to pick up music, of all things. Need I mention inflation? Need I mention house prices? Need I mention anything? Lockdowns. The music industry shrinking post-lockdowns. People aren't buying tickets. Need I mention all these things? We could run a whole list. I could go through a whole Rolodex. I'm sure you could go through a whole Rolodex of negativities. So all I'll do right now is just acknowledge, I'll just do a little nod to the negativities, that they do exist, and we could bust them out at will, like a Rolodex, like a script, like an endless script. We could whittle off a whole list of negativities. But I mean, that only raises the question, why now? Why do music at all? Why do it now? At the worst possible time. And hey, don't worry, I ask myself the same question constantly. Right now it's occurring, and that's why I'm talking about it. Why do it now? Well, let me start it off by saying I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I don't know why. I don't understand. And it's something I've been searching for to understand for 20 years. For about 20 years. Maybe 15 years in terms of really needing to find answers. But in terms of when my music journey really kicked up a notch, it's about 20 years ago when I discovered the drum kit. So I've been searching the answer to this calling. And it's something I can't really get the answer from anybody in the world. I've tried asking people. And it turns out it's a pretty big mystery. The great philosophers, I just had to check the time that it was still recording, because that would be a tragedy if this recording didn't make it to the light of the public. What was I saying? So just being a musician, and I was not expecting to be here right now, but it's this calling. It's this calling from within. And it's very strange, and you can very easily miss the call because you feel like you're going crazy. And it's very easy to just go, okay, maybe I am just crazy. I'm just going to do something logical and practical instead with my life. And you know what? I envy you on a certain level. I do. In a positive envy sense, not in like a secretive envy like a golem. My precious. Nothing like that. It's like, I just envy that. I envy your pragmatism. Because I've attempted to be more pragmatic. I'm studying a degree part-time. I'm studying computer science right now. And I'm a ways through the degree. I'm nearly halfway through. And I chose that because of lockdowns. And basically I also experienced I've had some traumatic experiences in my life in recent years, and I needed to make change. I needed change, and I didn't know who I was anymore. And I was hit by such heavy emotions for such a prolonged period of time, and such isolation, that I lost touch with the person that I was. And in one sense, that's positive, because we need to let go of our past, or we need to integrate our past in a way that we can move beyond it and create who we are in the present, to create our future, etc. But I completely lost my sense of who I was, and I was left with this just inward traumatic mess, this inward mess that I still contend with on a daily basis, this inner mess. So I went towards the logical route. I enrolled in university, and I'm grateful that I did. I realized I'm not as stupid as I thought. And that doesn't mean that can sound like I think I'm smarter than what I am, and I guarantee that I don't. But at the same time, by that same token, I also have to believe in my intelligence. Because if I don't, then who will? So I also have to back myself that I am smarter than what I give myself credit for. But I also recognize the limits of my intelligence. And I think that is, by definition, the nature of intelligence, is that you are aware of the limitations of your knowledge. So I am acutely aware, but by studying, this allowed me to realize that I can actually be a smart person if I commit to it. I'm not trapped to this path. So I felt really trapped towards music. This is almost like a therapy session for me. So maybe you in the audience, maybe you watching, you lucky viewer, maybe you are seeing more of my subconscious than I'm even aware of, which is a scary thought for me, but I'm still creating this, and I will still upload this, because I believe in taking action in the face of fear, especially action that is positive. I feel that this video is positive. It's seeking to uncover the hidden side of humanity, the hidden side of human emotions, the hidden side of the artistic experience, the hidden side of being a creator, because that's what I am, right? That's what we're doing. I'm a content creator, and to me, I just like doing this. I just enjoy video in terms of a technology, from a technological aspect and from a physical, theoretical standpoint on the nature of reality and physics. I like video, and I like imagination, and I like creativity, and I like human expression, and I like reality, and I like truth, and I like conversation, and I like discussion. So I'm sharing and creating this. I'll be honest, right now I've completely lost my train of thought. So in the ideal world, I think for future podcasts, I will create a little list. I'll create a little list of the things I want to discuss, and that will act as my little map for these times when I get lost. But overall, I know what I'm discussing, and it's just this calling. So if you feel that calling, all I have to tell you is that you have to go towards it. You have to go towards it, and you have to embrace it. You have to embrace it wholeheartedly. You do, and I know it feels scary, because it is. It's the scariest thing you could ever do, because it's the opposite of certainty. You are going headfirst into uncertainty. It's the dynamic life. They call it the dynamic life. You are going head first into it. You are becoming it, and you are being all about it. And let me tell you, it is frightening. It feels like free falling. But I never felt more alive. That's really funny for anyone who just saw that. Anyway. But yeah, seriously. It's the only thing that makes me feel alive, even though I am reduced to nothing. By engaging in this process, I am reduced to nothing, and I feel like nothing. Yet at the same time, I feel like I'm everything, which is just crazy. That's actually just something a crazy person would say, but it's also quite poetic as well. So you never know, do you? You never know, do you? So the thing is, I actually don't have answers for you. All I can really point out is that the answers are within you, and you have to go towards those answers. And I would just encourage you to stop seeking the answers outside of you. Turn off these screens. Stop listening to these external influences. Still be open, still learn. Stay open to new information and new ideas and new facts. But you have to connect with who you are internally. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard because we all have different circumstances. And some people are stuck in situations where there's lots of people depending on them, and maybe it's a toxic relationship environment, whether it's an intimate relationship or it's a family relationship or it's a friend relationship or it's a roommate situation or whatever the situation is. I get it. So I'm not here saying to just go inwards and figure it out willy-nilly. I get it, and I'm just saying, regardless of all the circumstantial context, that you just have to do it anyway. You just have to figure out who you are and then go fully into that and become that. And that is where the secret of the gold of your being resides, basically, is what I'm telling you. Everything else is what it is. I just don't know. How am I to tell you what you should do? Who am I to say what anything else really even is? And that's my whole point. Once you get this calling, how do you even know what's real? In the sense that someone could tell me that I'm delusional. But this calling that I experience so implicitly, how do I know that the external world isn't the actual delusion? And this thing that's calling from within is the reality, because it feels more implicit to me than the external reality. So whose word do I take? Do I take your word telling me that I'm delusional, or do I trust this calling? Let me tell you, I've trusted this calling before, and it's paid off. In whatever sense you want to take that, spiritually, financially, emotionally, creatively, artistically. It's paid off, and it continues to pay off, and I just don't think humans are meant to live in an office day in, day out. And I don't think we're meant to give ourselves to something that we don't believe in with every fiber of our being. I feel like we're here, we're having a spiritual experience, and we're meant to feel the activation of our DNA each and every moment. And if we feel dull in any way, shape or form, it's an indicator that we are not on the correct path that we should be on. Anyway, I hope some of this rambling was useful to you. This was my starting point. I had a great time chatting. I look forward to honing in more into more specific topics that can help you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're tapping into who you really are and breaking those subconscious blocks and stay strong, stay creative, and send you peace and love.